Hi, I'm Teresa coming live to showcase one of our new product lines that's actually been redesigned and it's been around for a while. The Freezer Mate product line. The Freezer Mate product line is actually now called the Freezer Mate Plus. It has a more softer, pliable product touch and feel to the product. It also has a coating on it, making it better and more likely not to stain. So I wanted to share some of the sizes with you, as also some tips on how to use the product. With the Freezer Mate Plus line, you have options of sizes and the colors kind of coincide with the different sizes. So you have the small, shallow on top. You have the small, deep, the medium shallow, the medium deep, and the large shallow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sizes. Although it's designed for the freezer, and you can actually put it to actually store dry food. If you're going on a picnic and you want to put some sandwiches in there to go, you can store things in there that's cool and dry storage. The design with this product line, it's more pliable, so when you do freeze it, it allows you still to manipulate and open and pop the food out very easily. So I'm going to start with the small, shallow, and kind of showcase the product line. And what you'll find with this, I want to say kind of an orangish yellow top, has a little well on the inside. So if you'll see, almost always every product in our Tupperware pieces, the product seal, the product container, it all has a stamp on it that says Tupperware, and a stamp that has a mold number. Don't forget, we still warranty items from way back when. It's actually the mold number that we look up for you to see if it's available still for replacement. Warranty is cracking, chipping, breaking, and peeling. So this is the small, shallow. Again, the indentation, I'll flip it over. It says Tupperware on the top. And then when you see the little tab all the way around the rounded square corners, you have a little point out tab. That's kind of the recommended lift point. If you lift all the side corners up, it comes off very nicely. The seal is very pliable. The rim and where it mates up with the base is nice and thick for easy, secure sealing. And then also the base of the container, it has a little bit of what's called frosted. As you fill the food up, you'll see inside there's a frosted look that kind of pops out and stands out. So this small size is great for a little bit of snacks. Again, don't forget the dry food storage, but also for lunches, snacks to go, it works nicely. This product size, I would use this actually, the small shallow, for jams. If you ever make freezer jam or you venture into freezer jam as well as canning dry storage jam, it works lovely. It's a nice little size. It allows you to eat based on your family size. If your family's bigger and you guys go through this much jam in a month, you might want to go to a bigger size to make your freezer jam using your fresh, ripest fruits. So this one actually capacity is 1 3/4 cups. So let me show you. Again, I showed you that there's a frosted side, but also a embossed star or snowflake. So that pops out and is present when you have food inside of there. You want to seal it up. Again, that bump on the tab on this side is you want to start opposite that corner, line it up, and then walk your hands around like you always do in the past with Tupperware seals, and it seals down nice and neat. It's much more pliable. So if you pop something out, maybe you've frozen some avocados. Did you know you could actually freeze avocados? Oh my goodness. Freeze avocados and pop it into a shake. Get yourself some healthy, enhanced shake. Pop it sideways. So you can pop it right onto a dish if you're gonna actually microwave, reheat, or cook. If you make a large amount of dishes and you wanna make a sangria and you wanna pop out maybe some fresh squeezed juice that you have or sliced up fruits, you can pop those in the frozen state, pop it right into a sangria recipe you're soaking overnight. It will make that enhance the flavor. I always try and save the vegetables and fruits at their primest or their peak of their crop. That's the best flavor. So again, this is the small, shallow, and I'll seal this up here. Then we have twice as tall. So 2 of these make the deep, the small deep. So if you're familiar with Tupperware's modular mates, this is the modular system that helps modularize and organize and use all of your space at the freezer, or maybe it's your on-the-go picnic pack, or maybe it's your refrigerator. It helps also, these small sizes fit into your drawer, your refrigerator. So it's very modular, meaning it's not gonna actually waste space, but also it stacks up nicely, and the footprint, no matter where you store it, maximizes the space. When you stack these together, I'll just show you on this is a medium shallow. When you stack them together, there's little wells and indentations. Tupperware thinks of everything has a purpose. So when you stack these, it holds on to them, so when you transfer, move back and forth, it's not gonna slip off, especially when you're freezing. So again, small, shallow, small, deep. Right now, currently, it's one of the things we offer as a thank you gift for hosting a party, virtual party, or putting a nice size order in. The tabs open up all the way around. And again, really easy to use. When you buy the pieces, they come with a nice insert. A lot of times our inserts, and also on our website and our food blog, you can go to my website, twpartysales.com or albergini.my.tupperware.com. You'll find that they'll have dimensions in here. Sometimes they're also multi-languages, so Spanish as well and French, but you can actually have ideas on what to store in here. So in this smaller size, I would do like half a sandwich and maybe some fruit. The larger size, again, I don't know if you do any blending of fruits or you make smoothies or you're working on more cleaner, healthier snacks. It's nice to freeze things if you're not going to eat it right away. So we talk about storing things and stretching your dollar, but I also want to make sure that you realize that you want to capture the most freshest ingredients. If you have a great garden in the backyard, you bought a major, big, large, flat or bin of strawberries, take the strawberry stems out, rinse it off really quickly, flash freeze the fruit, strawberries, whatever it may be, and pop it in here. Flash freeze is, again, rinsing it off, laying it on a cookie sheet, putting it in the freezer for 5-10 minutes, making it kind of frost all the way around individually, and then scoop those frozen treats or goodies right inside of here. And you can store them fresher longer. If the vegetables you're saving are on their prime or their peak of their crop and they have an iron content, you want to quickly blanch the vegetable, put it into an ice bath, and then again flash freeze it with individually separated out, and then pop it in here. When you flash freeze it, you're not creating a bulk of frozen ingredients, you're creating an individual access. So if you want to go in there and get 3 or 4 strawberries, or maybe it's bananas, half of bananas. The best time for bananas, I don't know if you can see my bananas here, they're not the prettiest, but they are best for cooking and baking when they get really dark. So what I can do is I've taken these whole bananas or half bananas and sliced them up and popped them in here after I flash froze them. Or maybe you do 2 bananas together at once and freeze, because typically most muffins and cake recipes require at least 2 muffin breads, at least 2 bananas, but you want to get them the darkest, the sweetest. That's the best time to actually cook with them. But if you're making things like ice cream from scratch, you want to pop it right into here. It works fabulous. So what's nice about this is again the small, deep freezer mate plus. And this one is 4 3/4 cups, okay? So roughly double this, like we talked about, modular. So the smalls are like that. Then we go, both of these together makes a medium size. So 2 of these together, if you can see, these both together make the medium size, the medium footprint. And then you have the medium shallow and the medium deep, both working together. The bottom one is a large shallow. Again, it's not that deep, it's shallow. And when you turn on edge, you can stack these into your freezer or refrigerator and make your own modularized space. It makes it really nice when you're stacking these in here because, again, you don't waste the space. And then you also want to get freezer labels. Sometimes we sell the freezer labels. You can pop in here the date, what's in there, and that way it's not a frozen object we call UFOs, unidentified frozen objects. So this is a wonderful set you can establish or build up based on what you like and what you need in sizes. The large shallow, you can do a thin layer of enchiladas, and then you can pop it out into a casserole dish and bake it. This one here, obviously, as well, is really fun. I've done a couple of recipes where you can take some fresh pineapple and make your own Disney's Dole Whip. Make your own Dole Whip and actually have it for later on. And you can pop it open and scrape it into a dish and have like an icy, if you will, or ice cream. A lot of bananas can fit in here. If you're someone that likes the desserts, take a fresher, riper banana. Again, take the bananas. I would cut them in half, more all yellow. Not quite yellow green, but yellow. Put a popsicle stick inside of there. Roll it through your chocolate, your semi-sweet or your milk chocolate, and flash freeze it. And you can make your own banana chocolate dip strawberries and chocolate dip bananas. And this works great in this large container. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, frozen fruits, frozen vegetables. I don't want you to forget too is when you make meats, if you are a marinator, is think about taking your meat out before you barbecue, before you cook. You always want to make sure you cool it off to almost or warm it up to actually room temperature, a little bit cooler. And it's best to cook the meats when they're not completely cold or frozen. But what I will do in this one, the large shallow, is lay my chicken breast, my flank steak, or your steaks in here, season both sides of the steak, and then freeze it. So if you're a camper, we do everything frozen. So we'll make it in advance, our dishes that we're doing, and then we'll freeze them and then pop them in the ice chest. And as they defrost, like marinated meats, then, or shrimp, whatever it may be, then as it marinates, it absorbs more of the wonderful marinades that you've made from scratch or you've bought. And then it also creates a nice cold ice box in that ice chest. But the large shallow is really popular for lunch meats. So again, I mentioned before, not just in the refrigerator or freezer, you can use it for dry food storage. You can do some desserts in here, fudge, Christmas cookies, snacks of all sorts. What I like about this the best is based on your hand strength. Not all of us, littles to bigs, can actually open things really easily. Our hand strength it gets stronger and sometimes weaker. So I find that I like the more of the softer seals and softer containers, more pliable. So you seal it up on here and you store your vegetables, your fruits. Like I said, designed for the freezer. It's easier to work on the countertop. Designed for the freezer, but you can move it into different parts of your home based on how you use it and how big your family size is. It's also a great gift. So don't forget ever when you're looking at Tupperware is buying for yourself first, for your personal needs, and then also for gifting. Anniversaries, weddings, of course, but think about birthdays, college, things like that. People going on the go, people, like to travel. This is the large shallow. This is actually sold individually. The large shallow, let's see, it's about 9 3/4 cups. Don't forget too, you want to make sure you don't go beyond the rim of this white container base. That allows you some expansion space. You always want to allow expansion space. And when you make things or you have leftovers and you're going to freeze a leftover dish or you've made something, you want to make sure the seal is always off. And if it's a hot ingredient or room temperature ingredient, you want to cover the food that you've made or you're going to freeze. This is pre-freezer work. You want to put the food in here, allow again a 1/4 inch, a 1/4 to a 1/4 inch of space to expand. Lay it kind of a little bit sideways, kind of like that, not sealed, right? Put it in the refrigerator overnight. It's getting cold. In the morning when it's all cool, then you seal it. If you seal an ingredient or a recipe that's hot or steamy, it will dome up in the middle, create a domed, they'll actually freeze up into a dome, and the center part of your actual dish will pop up above the container side. Pop the seal off, and you can't freeze it unless you probably wrap it a whole bunch of times with plastic wrap it. You don't want to do that, right? So when you capture the steam, you want to make sure that you're allowing it to escape overnight with the seal kind of sideways, and then freeze it. You will have a flat ingredient when you actually go to stack it in the freezer, and then you obviously want to make sure you always label it, but never seal it with hot, room temperature to hot food in there, and then do it the next day. Let it set overnight in the fridge, and then seal it up and freeze it if you're going to freeze it. Okay, this is the large shallow, sold individually. Then you got the large or medium deep, individually sold, and medium shallow, individually sold. The small shallows are sold in sets of 4. So what I'm showing you is I recommend a great starter set. The small deeps are in 2-piece sets. One is right now currently a free gift for just hosting a party and getting qualifying sales. This is actually a great start. I'd recommend getting extras. So I don't know what you like the best based on how much space you have in your freezer, whether it's side by side, it's the drawer, it's a deep freezer, or you have an old-fashioned one in the garage like I do, and then you have the side by side inside the house. There's lots of different ways you can actually freeze things. You want to make sure you set the freezer. You want to chill the food that you've done overnight in the refrigerator with the seal kind of sideways, then seal it up, label it, and put it in the freezer. Okay? What you can do too, based on what's inside here, you can put things like loose vegetables that are frozen or fruit sideways, you're fine. If they start leaking, then there could be a temperature problem in your freezer. So kind of, food for thought, good to know. This is a great starter set to create your own. Tupperware's favorite or popular set, if you will. I'm going to show you that one that you'll see currently. And that is 2 of the medium shallows, 2 of the small deeps, and 4 of the small shallows. Really popular. It's an 8-piece set, really popular starter set, okay? And you can add more to it. So this is the Tupperware's Freezer Mate Plus product line. Wonderful for freezing vegetables and fruits, both frozen, refrigerate, and freeze. Room temperature ones, your garden ones, homemade jellies, recipes like that. Sauces, if you save, and you juice up lemons and limes. It's great to actually do that. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you can save juices. You can save things that you've made like gravies. You can save the au jus sauce. Don't ever throw that away. Oh my goodness. Save the drippings from your chicken if you're not going to use it. You can refrigerate it overnight, scoop off the actual fat layer, and take that concentrate you have in the bottom to make your own au jus sauce or add it to a soup or a special recipe you make in the future. Chicken broth, your own chicken broth. Again, save that as well. So I want to show you some of the newer things that have added to the set. One is neat, is this, it's a stackable. It's a 3-piece set, same seal type. It's in the, as you can see here, it's in the medium size. And let me pop the seal off for you. You can see there's 3. So this is for quick, easy serving based on your family head count or your size. You've got 1, 2, and 3. These little size containers are roughly, let's see, oh, it went over. Roughly the size of the small, a little bit shorter, okay? So if you had maybe chicken breasts, 2 hammered out chicken breasts, or maybe it was some bacon, or maybe it was your meats that you like to work with, you can separate your meats out from the bulk store or when you buy it, season it up if you'd like, or slice it up and have things ready to go for quick meals. Make your own to go. They snap together nicely. This is a new popular piece that just came out last year. And it's basically, with only 1 seal and 3 bases, it saves space in your refrigerator or freezer, wherever you store it. So this is something that's new as well, really cool, okay? And then what I wanna go back to is the juices. So remember in the olden days, we had ice trays before the ice maker, and we like to have ice in our drinks. You can also make iced, fresh brewed coffee, or your leftover coffee, room temperature cooled, is you can pour it in here and make coffee ice cubes. So when you pop it in and you make your iced coffee, it won't dilute your beverage. Same goes for wine and what have you. So Tupperware came out with these wonderful ice trays. And the fresh and pure ice trays are just amazing. You have a tab again, an easy tab to pull open. You've got a little spot to open up when you seal the seal onto the container. All you do is put water in here if you're doing just water, pour it in the center part, and then level it back and forth until you get your desired height on your actual ice, cover it. So we were at a family getaway this weekend, and we looked at the freezer that was there. It was about 4 months of winterized, a cabin that was winterized and closed down. So we went into the actual freezer. The ice was actually almost gone. It evaporated, or wherever it went in that freezer, it was no longer inside of the ice trays. The other thing is that the ice was, it tasted funny. So ice takes on whatever's going on in your refrigerator and freezer if it's a joined unit. So this actually allows your ice to stay fresh, clean, and oh my gosh, so yummy. But you also can mold with these. These have now a little silicone bump on the bottom that helps you pop it out. So when you fill it up, whether it's the wine or the coffee or it's just ice or water, and you have your ice, you can pop it over, and all you do is pop the little bumps out, and out comes your ice cubes. What's nice too with this is that if you have lemons or limes, or you get your hands on some oranges and you want to juice it, or you want to make your own homemade juice, oh my gosh, don't buy those lemon shaped with a little screw top flavoring things you can buy in the grocery store for your lemon juice. Capture 2 or 3, 4 fresh lemons that you've grown, or limes, and get them when they're most ripest, okay? Roll it around, slice it, and juice it. We have a great juicer. Pour the juice in here and freeze it. Then when you freeze it, pop them out into the medium shallow. Or if you have quite a bit, pop them into the deep. It makes it really, really nice. So those are the ice trays, fresh and pure ice trays. Gotta have, I would say, 2 to 4 sets. Most households that do not use the ice maker or the ice maker's kaputs, it's not working anymore, they'll buy 2 sets of these, okay? The fresh and pure ice trays. They stack nicely, and they've got the spill-proof top. So that's basically what Tupperware has to offer in the freezer product line. Again, great things to form, to freeze fresh or frozen items. Leftovers you're not going to eat immediately, pop them in here and freeze them. You can always take a meal, eat it 2 weeks out, or a lasagna. Make the individual lasagnas and you pop them out into a microwave dish to reheat and warm them up, or put them into the dish that goes into the oven. Thanks for stopping and listening about Tupperware's not microwave, but Tupperware's freezer product line, Freezer Mate Plus. Thanks.